Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
Hey now! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 14. Still Got Game is the official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
What's going on, Joel Dude I Rock Albert?
Not much. We've taken breaks again.
Yeah, well, it was Columbus Day, and we both had all those Columbus Day ragers to partake in. You know, you can't pass up. I was quadruple booked with Columbus Day parties. There was just, you had to pick and choose which one you're going to go to. I'm sure it was the same for you.
No, not at all. In the Midwest, people don't give a shit that it's Columbus Day. Nothing's closed. I went to work. Everything was normal.
Yes. The irony is actually I did have work that day, despite TIFF not and most of our state not. It depends really here. If your company is Massachusetts based, you always have Columbus Day off. But if you work for a company where the headquarters are somewhere else, they're like, the fuck you say? We don't do that. It's not a holiday. It's Columbus. So that's my company's out of Seattle. So we did not get the day off. But
oh, interesting.
I left early that day, and we had all kinds of stuff going on. And Tip was
nice.
home all day, obviously. But
yeah, I mean, we didn't do it. I mean, there was nothing. There was no celebrating at all. There was celebrating that, some people left, I think, work a little bit early, but that's about it. There's no.
It's really just an excuse to drink.
Yeah, like anything else in life.
Like the show.
Exactly.
Yeah. I never see you drink until the show.
Is that true?
Yeah, you're like a teetotaler.
Nah, I drink all the time.
Oh, whatevs. Pro at alcohol right here.
I don't know if that's something I should just be. No. I drink all the time.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we just skip away from this and get to feedback from last week's show? Remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Pauly D comments, when I saw the name of last week's episode in my feed, Rocket Bros, I had a good feeling it had to do with my comment. No shit. I stand by the comment. You sirs are epic. Once again, Rocket Bros, rocket. Pauly D really set something in motion last week with the Rocket Bros.
We've become the Rocket Bros podcast. I think that if we ever spin it off, or you know how we change names so often.
Or if we spin off like a non-gaming podcast, we can just seriously be Rockin' It Bros.
Rocket Bros.
Rocket Bros.
Rocket Bros.
Well, speaking of Rocket Bros, our second commenter, Knopflin comments, last week's episode was fucking hilarious. Rocket Bros, rocket.
See, it's catching on. It's catching. Pauly D is a mastermind.
Yes, he set something in motion with the Rocket Bros.
I love it. Personally, I love it. I'm a huge fan. I might get a Rocket Bros tattoo on my shoulder.
Oh, we should get matching Rocket Bros
Yeah,
tattoos.
we put our biceps together. It's like Rocket Bros.
It'll be like Peter Moore at E3. It can be like Rocket Bros.
Oh, that's depressing.
And gay.
And gay.
But because it's rocking, it's not gay.
Right.
Yes. There's something like that. All right. And last but not least, Muffin comments. First time viewer, first time commenter. I just recently found you on YouTube, and I have to say I love your show. I'm looking forward to the next episode.
I'm loving to see these YouTube things. Isn't this the second comment in a while we've had people finding us on YouTube? That's pretty good.
Yeah, probably the second or third.
Not bad. Not bad. That just means more people need to get up on iTunes, vote, tell us how awesome we are, so that we get people from there as well. We need all locations constantly, 24 hours a day.
Yeah, we do have a lot of people listening, but once again, not a lot of people giving us our props on iTunes.
Bastards.
But I don't know. I haven't really checked our subscription numbers on YouTube to see if they've gone up or not. But we get fairly decent views for a unpublicized show on YouTube. It's not like there's tons of YouTube promotion that goes on. It's organic. It's either through Twitter or Facebook or the Tool to Play homepage. It's not like we're featured anywhere, but we get fairly, what I would say, respectable for a barely double-digit show on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it actually is pretty good. Organic, it's actually kind of impressive. It's nice to see something grow like that, where you don't put any thought into it. People like the show, they come, they see it. And I always like the idea of someone like happening upon our show. That's always an idea to me that sounds really good. If someone comes in and sees this, they're probably like, what the fuck, Rocket Bros? I gotta check it out. Because who doesn't want to, really?
Part of the key is just, and I don't know if I'm tagging it with the right shit, but part of it's the tags you use on YouTube, because that's where you get, like, when you're watching a YouTube video, you see that shit over at the right, and it's like, oh, you might also like these. And
Right.
that's based on the tags, and I guess I just have to find better tags, like tits and naked chicks. Those are the tags that'll bring people in. They might not keep people, but they'll bring people in.
Yeah, if I'd click on Tits McGee.
Yes.
I'd click
And that's like when people have that YouTube video, it's a show like ours, and they have one frame in the end of a girl in a bikini, and they select that as their thumbnail.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yes.
Yes,
Totally
that's
pro.
that's the
Actually,
LED.
now YouTube's changed it where you can use any image that doesn't even need to be in your video as your thumbnail. So,
So every opening should just be a tit,
yep. Boom.
a
Done.
side boob, and then we're good to go.
Yeah, side boob. We got
Side boob. Got to be, yeah.
go with the rules and
gotta,
regs of
gotta
YouTube.
clean it up, keep it classy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, if any of you have feedback, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us, podcast@tooledtoplay.com. And on that, we'll hop over to site-related news, which, besides what we've told you in the past, I have nothing really new or different to add to that. You have anything, Jay?
Just that there's a growing thread on the, if you're a member, and if you are, you probably already know about it. But if not, it's cool to just kind of head on over there and off topic in our forums. You can check it out. We've got a thread going up right now that's really just talking about what does the future of Tool to Play look like. And, you know, the things that have kind of happened since this gaming era has gone on extra long with this console cycle. What it's done to our community and what that means for the community in the future. And I don't know if you knew this, Derek, but I was looking around, and even sites like Geezer Gamers, where we met, I think they're either closing down or they found someone else to take over. Everyone has kind of felt that, I think, community-wise. The communities have all kind of broken up because there isn't that one game to bring everyone together. So it's just a discussion about what does this mean going forward as a website? What does it mean for Tool to Play? And you know, what do you want to see and all those things. Just, you know, it's a cool thread. There's not too much trolling going on currently, but that could change. So get in there now.
Oh, it'll always change.
Oh, yeah, it'll change. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as somebody says something insightful, someone's like, kill the insightful guy. He's an asshole. What the fuck?
That was way too smart. Yeah,
Go with
you
the
don't want
status quo. We're idiots.
Exactly. So yeah, check that out if you don't want to be an idiot for 20, 30 minutes. Have a comment, say whatever you want, don't care. Everything has a value as long as it's not retarded, right?
Exactly.
Be nice. But yeah, go check it out.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we meander over into what we're playing? What have you been playing this week, Joel Dude I Rock Albert?
Nothing this week. Work's been a little shitty. I did do, of course, my my weekly World of Warcraft playing.
It'd be nice if it was in.
It'd be great if it was annual, then maybe I'd have a life. But it's once or twice a week. It's fine. But no, nothing new. I started playing Cities again this weekend. Cities is basically SimCity, just that they did it right.
Yeah.
Not the shitty version. And I play that every now and again when I get super bored. I like SimCity. I like Cities XL, I think is what it's called. You can check it out on Steam. It's relatively cheap, and it's way better than SimCity. Way better. So I play that sometimes. What about you?
Well, I've been playing nothing more than my usual. You know, a couple nights of Halo, a couple nights of Borderlands, and then lots and lots of Diablo 3.
Still?
Yeah. You know, it's the game has infinite possibilities. That's the beauty of it. You just level up. And then, so when Tiff and I play, we play with her mains. When she's not on, I fucking level up my alt. And there's always, since there's no auction house on consoles,
Right.
You really have to wait for your pages of blacksmithing and pages of jewel craft. That stuff you can't just go buy and shortcut the middleman. So there's a fair bit of grinding that goes on.
Yeah, I think you were right too. I think you said it maybe 2 weeks ago. I think that is the model that they're going for just in general on PC. I think that's all going to kind of trickle over. Obviously, if you guys haven't heard, they're getting rid of all that stuff. You will not have the auction house come. I think late March is when it cuts off. So they're giving you some huge leeway there. But then, of course, BlizzCon is November, really soon, end of November, mid-November. So we're going to see the expansion for Diablo as well. So it'll be kind of cool to see if they, you know, because there was that big stagger from PC to console. I wonder if they're going to try to get that expansion as a universal multi-platform single release. Because that'll suck for you if, like, PC comes first and then you're waiting around on your shitty little console.
At that point, am I really going to be playing a last gen fucking game?
True.
You know what I mean? Like,
Very
I'm gonna be balls deep in the new shit. So I don't really care. Like, that's the other thing we have. In literally less than a month from now, we are going to be coming all over fucking 2 different consoles. Just like, skeet to the left of me, skeet to the right. Here I am, skeet in the middle with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
that's
drink a
what I
lot
did.
of fluids is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Drink a lot
You
of
gotta,
fluids.
you gotta keep the
Keep
ropes.
Got to keep that stuff going.
You gotta toss some ropes out there. Yes. I said that.
Gross. All right.
All right. All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop over into the new releases? And for a change, there's actually quite a few big name
weird.
new releases out this week. First new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it's Batman Arkham Origins. And this is out for the 360, the PS3, the Wii, the Wii U, and the PC. This is the third game in the Batman Arkham series, and it's a direct sequel to 2011's Batman Arkham City. It's the first game in the series not developed by Rocksteady Studios, but don't let that sweat you because it's obviously the same fucking code base because the game looks, the UI is the same, the gameplay is the same. It's just they're not the ones that are actually doing the development of the new content. In addition to a completely new story, the game features a bunch of new gadgets to complement the existing ones from the previous games. It also finally introduces a fast travel system, which is something that people complained about a lot in the Batman games. Now, granted, it's fun to fucking coast through the city and kind of like glide through, but here, Batman can call the Batwing anytime, pick him up, drop him off somewhere else. Boom, done. And also, for the first time in the series, there's a multiplayer component being introduced, which may or may not be a good thing. It has a bunch of game types with it, but that seems to be the thing now where if you're just not sure about your single player campaign or you're 3 or 4 levels deep into a single player only franchise, multiplayer sometimes is a way to, it's kind of the, should I get Batman? Should I get this? Well, now this one has multiplayer, and that's kind of the, gives the game a little extra life. Who knows? There's no early reviews out for it yet, but the previous games both scored in like the mid to high 9s, so I'm assuming that this is going to have apeshit reviews also. I know Tiff loved the last one, but obviously it's just not for me.
Well, it's hard to say, too. I know you're saying it's not Rocksteady, but it's okay because it's the same code base. I agree with that there. The other thing is, it seems like what a lot of these third-party, I know what you call them, third-party companies, but when they come in and take it over, they have to do, this is when you see multiplayer. You never see it from the actual studio because they're like, they focus on their craft, they hone their craft. Then some other company comes in, they're like, all right, we don't know what we're doing, so let's tack some multiplayer on this bitch. And that's when it gets really bad. I'm not saying it's going to be bad.
That's kind of a strong statement. What if they say, okay, look what they gave us. They gave us this fully functioning engine that we just have to provide all these new art assets and
but it's
kind of
more
walk
than
through a
that,
storyline
right?
there. And because we already have that, we can have this other team develop multiplayer.
Let's fuck up multiplayer. Let's just. I mean, it's possible. Look, I'm not saying. I'm just trying to think of an iteration like in time for any game where a new company's come on board and they've created a multiplayer component and it's been great.
I can't think of newcomers. I can think of games where the game was single player. Like look at BioShock and they added multiplayer and people
horrible.
played the fuck. No, people
No, it
played
was
the
horrible.
fuck out of that.
Yeah, those people are idiots.
Well, there's plenty of competitive BioShock people out there.
Competitive BioShock people. There is?
Yeah.
Where are these
There's a whole
people?
division
Is
for
it like 1v1 because there's only 2 in the world? Is that what we're talking about right now?
That's a strong statement. The opinions of Joel Dude I Rock Albert do not
are fact.
represent.
Are fact. These opinions are fact. There is no. You show me where the guy won. Like, yeah, I'll even say this: where there was a competition where 2 BioShock multiplayer people won $1,000
Oh, yeah,
as the winner.
It's not monetary.
Okay, all right.
But competitive nonetheless.
Competitive. 2 guys in a room, 14 years old. All right, go ahead. Continue on.
All right. Next new release out this week is Rocksmith 2014, and this is out for the 360, the PS3, the PC, and the Mac. This is Ubisoft's latest iteration of their Rocksmith series, and they've set it in a completely new direction this time. Instead of being for hardcore players only, which for the first Rocksmith really was, it was like, hey, you play guitar? Well, you can play it here on your console and have a good time with it. The game's basically been rebuilt from the ground up to serve as an instructional tool to actually help people learn to play the guitar. Using a 1/4 inch jack to USB adapter, you can plug almost any guitar and almost any bass into your console, PC, or Mac, and play with that. The song list is pretty impressive, and I would say anyone that either loves to play guitar and loves this sort of game, definitely pick it up. If you're looking to learn guitar and you happen to have an electric guitar, this game is probably the most suited of this genre of games to actually learn to play guitar. Like I bought the fancy Fender Squier Strat for Rockman 3, and I still don't know how to play guitar, so that didn't really help.
So it didn't work.
Something
Okay,
like
gotcha.
Rocksmith would help me out. I do now have a real electric guitar because of that.
Well, that's good. So I guess if that was the end goal, then yes, you have succeeded.
Yes, I'm one of the few guys that doesn't know how to play guitar that has one. So it looks decent. It's obviously not like it's not just an iteration in the series. It's not just a new song list. They really did rebuild the game from the ground up. They took feedback from the community, what people like, what they didn't, and they saw that since harmonics had kind of stopped with Rock Band 3 and hadn't progressed on with the guitar genre, they said, okay, well, there's this big hole here that we can fill and become the go-to game. And I think they're doing a great job with it. But
it's funny, I've played guitar for 15 years now. I never picked this up, but I do love the concept of it. And I think the way that they're going about it is awesome. I think maybe I'm too old school to now want to learn through a video game, but I think for people just learning, it's brilliant. So I'm totally all for it. I think this is a really cool thing.
Well, even if you know how to play, then you can get the game fired on and you can fucking
jam over it.
Even songs you don't know, you can play because all the fucking shit's going to be showing up on the screen.
Maybe I will give it a shot.
Yeah, you get some muscle memory, start learning some fucking shit from it. Learn this piece, learn this piece, learn this piece. You learn all the segments. All of a sudden, you're fucking rocking and rolling at the land. We got a big fucking stage set up. We got smoke machines. I'm singing.
Jesus.
You're playing.
Oh my
Boom,
God.
done.
Is this happening?
Yeah.
In fact, the land this year will not actually be about video games. It's just going to be a concert with me and Derek. So if you guys want to buy tickets now, let me know. $150 a ticket. It's real expensive.
It's going to be the tits, though.
I'm famous.
It's very private. Very private. Yeah. All right. Well, the last new release out this week is Raven's Cry, and this is out for the 360, the PS3, and the PC. Now, this is a new pirate-themed action role-playing game from Reality Pump. It's the studio behind the Two Worlds series. It's set in the 17th century Caribbean and mixes historical characters as well as fictional ones. The game looks great, and it treats pirates in a different way than you're used to having pirates treated. It's not that kind of like, it's not your Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not Pirates, the game. It's really like a serious look at pirates and the violence and all that kind of shit that goes on with it. It's not like anything else in the genre. There's no review scores out for it yet, but if you're into pirate history, or you're just looking for a good non-fantasy action role-playing game, this may be what you're looking for to tide you over till the new consoles.
Oh, it's nice. It looks like a new IP. It looks like they're trying something new. I think it's a shame maybe that it's at the end of the console cycle, though. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
But, I don't know. It could be good. It's
Yeah,
always nice to see some new stuff. But yeah, it looks like a cool game. It's just that end of console, I don't know. There's better things to even play right now, sadly.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Yeah.
All right, and I faked you out. That's not the last new release.
Sick burn.
We have one big, huge new release out this week, and it is Lego Marvel Superheroes. It's out for the 360, the PS3, the Wii U, the PC, Vita, 3DS, DS, and next generation consoles next month. Wow, that was a mouthful. I need a breath. Whew. Now, this is the millionth Lego game from Traveler's Tales. These guys are awesome. It features just about everyone from the Marvel Universe, 150 characters overall. Now, because movie licensing from Marvel is really fucked up, so that's why, even though Spider-Man is really an Avenger, he's not in the Avengers because Sony owns Spider-Man, and Fox owns the X-Men, and the rest of the guys that you see, Iron Man and all the guys in the Avengers, they don't have exclusive licenses with a particular movie studio. That's why those guys never have any crossovers. That does not come into play in video games. So in this game, you have everybody you can think of from the Marvel Universe. It's the fourth Lego game that has actual voice acting in it. So that was kind of a nice twist that's been happening in the more recent Lego games. Started with, I think, Lego Batman 2. But it's been a nice twist. Instead of the mumbles and the kind of funny shit, it's actually telling the story. The game looks awesome, and they've done the same thing they always do. They kind of make some subtle UI improvements, some subtle game improvements, but you know what you're getting into with these games. It's definitely a must-buy for us, but we're probably going to be waiting till the next-gen versions.
Oh, you're going to wait for next gen for that one?
Yeah, it's only a month.
Right?
Yeah,
there's really no reason. That's the thing with a lot of these games that are coming out. I know they're trying to get both. It's smart because there are not going to be, a huge amount of people running out to buy, believe it or not, running out to buy the new system. A lot of people hang on to the old systems for a while. So it is a good play to do. I know it's fucked up, right? People just say, especially now. Normally when it was a 5-year cycle, it's something I can maybe understand. But we've just been in this bitch for so long. If you haven't saved up the money by now to buy a new system, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sad. But yeah,
Exactly.
wait a month, get it when it's ripe, unless they have that upgrade program that like Battlefield's got and a couple other people
Yeah,
got.
this is one of the few I haven't seen it for, and because it's literally out for everything. Like they even have separate 3DS and DS versions, which just
wow.
isn't done anymore. It's like let's dip in every barrel we possibly can. And the Lego games are a blast, and it's the kind of game you can play for 5 minutes or you can play for 5 hours and have a good time with. And I like how Traveler's Tale, they've never just sat in their ass and were like, okay, we have our Lego engine, let's just fucking pump out game after game. They do pump out game after game, but every time there's some kind of improvement to it, and they're fun. Adults, like, I can play them with Tiff and we have a good time, or you can play them with the kids and have a good time. It doesn't matter. Kids can play them with each other and have a good time. So they really have hit a sweet spot, and everybody fucking loves Legos.
Well, they're talking in chat right now. They're saying like we're just talking about the upgrade stuff. The one thing I do say with the upgrade stuff that a lot of people have done, I don't know if Legos is doing this, but at least with the upgrades, and this is really out to hit and deep in chat, and this is what you get if you actually come into the live show. You can talk to us. Is that you can upgrade all your stats. So if you do get in early and you're playing on the current Xbox iteration, and you do the $10 upgrade, you do carry those stats over. So for some of those games, I don't know how Lego is going to work. You keep everything.
I don't remember
you have.
seeing them on the list.
If they're not on the list, then I agree. I think waiting is the best policy. But if you're worried about stats, and Lego really isn't a game where you're working on your stats. So, but for Battlefield where you get guns or you upgrade, it's nice to at least have that carryover if you're doing that. Yeah. So keep that in mind for the people that are not upgrading or not doing that thing. If you're huge Call of Duty fans and stuff like that, at least it carries over. So
true.
Keep that in mind.
All right. Well, on that, Jay, should we slide over into gaming news? First story.
First story, and this one's a heartbreaker. No Turtle Beach headsets or Xbox One headset adapter until 2014. Oh, that hurt my soul. That's bad.
That's so bad.
Hurt so bad. And this is via joystick. According to a press release from audio accessory manufacturer Turtle Beach, the company's XO4 and XO7 headsets for the Xbox One will not be available until the first quarter of 2014 due to the delay of Microsoft's Xbox One headset adapter. So it's not on them, it's on the Microsoft side, but it still sucks balls. Microsoft has informed its partners in the Xbox One console launch that the Xbox One headset adapter being built by Microsoft and provided to Turtle Beach for inclusion with the new gaming headsets will not be available until 2014. Both companies will leverage the additional time, this is a lot of fluff and bullshit, to build supply and meet high anticipation of demand when the headset launches, end quote from the press release statement. Xbox Live won't be silent on launch, mind you. An unboxing video from Microsoft's Larry Erb, aka Major Nelson, showed that the Microsoft wired headset will be included, but we don't really give a shit because it sucks, with both regular and day one editions of the console. So prepare accordingly, obviously. The Xbox One isn't the only system with these headset compatibility issues. According to a report from Game Informer, USB headsets will not work with the PlayStation 4 at launch. And their Turtle Beach support page notes that although the PS4 users can receive game audio using digital optical connection, you'll still need a headset with a mobile adapter connection to chat. So this isn't just one party. This is shit all around. What do you think about this? It's a big deal for you guys because I know you love it. You love these headsets.
Everybody I know plays with a headset. Everybody that's a serious gamer plays with a headset. I don't play any other way. Even if I'm playing and there's nobody else in the house and I don't have to worry about volume, the benefits to having a headset and having 7.1 positional audio that nothing else is interrupting you is it just can't be beat. And I know we spent a lot of we always book an appointment at E3 with Turtle Beach. We love those guys. I saw them at PAX East too. And we talked to them about it, and that was one of the things they were touting is, we're going to be the first ones to have this out of the gate. And obviously this is the deal they had with Microsoft where they were going to have this adapter and just have it in the box with these selling as the Xbox One version. But it's sad that they couldn't time this right. It's really sad that at least Microsoft couldn't even get the adapter unless there's some kind of deal where they said, we won't sell the adapter until you have the adapter to sell with your new console or your new headsets in order to make this exclusive deal with you. Because really that puts everybody else like me in kind of detriment for the first, well, at least the first, well, they don't say when in 2014, but at least a month, 2 months without a headset. So I guess my plan is I'm going to be taking that free headset, wearing it around my neck, have the boom mic in front of my mouth, and have game and voice audio pumping through my headset. And I guess that's the only way to do it for now.
I guess so. It really is it's a pretty big deal. I mean, especially for the hardcore gaming scene, like you said, who pretty much lives and dies by their headsets. It's going to be weird. I'm hoping this 2014 isn't like the thing about that number is it's extremely vague. I mean, 2014 next year could be just like, what the fuck? I seriously doubt that going forward. Just because this is obviously something they knew about, and they've had a lot of these third parties probably working with them since the Xbox One's inception. But still, I mean, it's not great news, especially for the guys that have their headsets and they're, let's face it, they're expensive. People have spent a lot of money on them. So, no,
well,
not
good
news.
This is something that really it's more of a problem for people that play on Xbox Live, because if you look at how the Astros are used competitively, the way that when you go to a competition and people have Astros, they're not using in-game chat to talk to each other. The Astros actually have this daisy chaining system between everybody's unit, where that's a separate non-Xbox audio channel. So it'll work fine for if you have a team of 4 guys, everybody's got their Astros on, and you got the hardwired jumper cable between all 4 of your units. But anybody that wants to play on Xbox Live, that's where shit goes bad. Once you have to take that audio and mix it into the Xbox is the problem.
Yeah, it's bad news bears. Yep. So sad stuff, but keep hope alive. Hopefully it'll be early 2014, like Derek said, maybe a month or so, and you'll be back on your Astros or Turtle Beach if they'd like to sponsor us.
Exactly.
All right. So next story. This is another sad tale for Nintendo, which this kind of keeps racking up for us. But poor sales keep yet another EA title off of the Wii U and the Vita. And this is via Gamasutra. Criterion creative director Craig Sullivan has confirmed that the upcoming Need for Speed Rivals will not be released for either Nintendo's Wii U or Sony's PlayStation Vita. Speaking with 6-Axis, Sullivan cited the platform's low install base and the extra work required to successfully port the title as reasons for giving the hardware a miss. When the franchise's previous entry, Need for Speed Most Wanted, appeared on both consoles. Quote, Most Wanted didn't really sell that many in terms of Wii U market, said Sullivan. Quote, we did a load of extra work for the Wii U version, and we had a lot of guys working on that stuff, end quote. I don't know why he's getting all like, you know what I'm talking about?
It's like, we had to do a lot of work for that. Nobody fucking bought it,
Like, give us money. Publisher EA has signified a cooling relationship with Nintendo's Wii U platform in the past, saying as recently as May that it had no titles in development for the console. The fact that EA's next-generation Frostbite 3 engine, on which many of its titles are being developed, including Need for Speed Rivals, has not been ported to either Wii U or PS Vita is yet another sign that EA is not particularly invested in delivering titles for either of those platforms. Quote, Rivals is going on to new hardware, which is kind of a kick if you read between the lines there. And you have to work out your focus and focus your efforts, said Sullivan. Quote, the 200 people working on this game are only capable of making so much and doing so many different versions of the game. So we had to go with where we think the biggest audience for the game is, which makes total sense. So more bad news for the Wii U. Not that I mean, Frostbite engine, let's face it, that's a hardy engine anyway. What's the point of backporting it to something that isn't going to give it its full breadth? Is it not shocking news to you, right? This is just kind of like, oh well.
Not shocking in the least. It's the work it takes for them to port an entire engine to a different platform where it was already on current gen consoles, and then they knew, like Microsoft and Sony were obviously working with EA a long time ago to get the Frostbite engine stuff working with the next gen consoles. Nintendo can't come in with a 0.5 gen console and be like, yeah, support us, because it just doesn't happen. Now, if you're a more simple game, or you do your own, like, I don't know how Traveler's Tale does it. Like, when I read that off, what was there, like 15 platforms that they were on?
Yeah, they're on everything.
With Lego Marvel. So, now granted, that's not the fidelity. Like, there's no particle effects and fucking snow and motion physics and all this other stuff that a game of this sort of breath has. But it's nobody's a fan of the Wii U. It was a great.
I hate saying that. So true though.
It was a great concept. It was like, we're going to have a console that has little screens. It was the moment that they said, and it uses Wiimotes, that really they lost everyone. If you really had a console where everybody in your house could sit around with like a giant fucking, it was like a giant VMU essentially, like a 7-inch VMU, and have the TV. That was the tits. Imagine that. Like 4 people sitting on the couch, giant controllers and a screen, and you're still playing fucking high def games on the TV. That was it. It was when they were like, oh, yeah, no, you can have one of these, and then you're gonna take that last gen thing and play with that some more. No, nobody wants that. Nobody wanted it then. It was fun for old people in nursing homes and little kids.
Well, and the real big reason that they lost out. I mean, one could say that was, I think that's a pretty big role. I will agree. But the big thing with the Wii U and the Wii in general is, it came at a weird time. It was competing with no one. So you'd say to yourself, well, why wasn't it, a smash hit? Well, all the other developers were waiting for these other consoles. And so there were no games for it. When you bought the Wii U, literally, even their first party games, Zelda just came out a year later. So like, they had nothing to offer. You have a system. When you buy a new console, the reason everyone is always excited is not because of the new console. They could give two shits. What games am I buying? What's the Halo for that game or for that system? What's the Forza? What is the thing that's going to get me to buy the system? There's nothing. There's no reason to buy it because none of these third-party people are going to spend millions and millions of dollars developing to give you Battlefield 4 for the Wii U. It's not going to happen. So there's just where's the attachment? Where's the attachment rate? There is none.
Now, if they had sold a shitload of consoles, this would be an entirely different story, because then you play the law of averages. You say, okay, well, they sold X number of consoles, and if we're going to sell, 1 out of 10 X of our game, well, that's a decent number. But when you've sold like 25 consoles and your 5% becomes a really, really teeny single digit number, then it's not worth it.
Agreed.
No. It's sad. Everybody wanted more for Nintendo. Now all I want is just Nintendo to become a developer.
Yes.
Put your shit out for good consoles.
Like, just give me Zelda for my Xbox One, throw it on Steam, whatever, I don't care. I know I hate saying that because the same thing happened to Sega, and I say it I've said it a million times. Dreamcast is one of my favorite systems ever created.
It's so innovative.
Innovative, yeah. It was just the shit, but they fell into the same thing that's happening with the Wii U. Games, people were not making games for it, sadly. They went with the PlayStation. For whatever reason, they had market share. Ahead of its time, yes, maybe a year later, if it would have launched, it would have had more of a chance, but that's what killed it. We're seeing the same thing play out with Nintendo, and I really don't think they have a lot more time left. I think it's we're almost over here, sadly. So.
Exactly.
All right, next story. This one, I don't know, maybe you'll care about this. Depends on if you really care about Windows at all. Most people don't, sadly. Windows 8 is the Wii U of operating systems. Xbox One will run Windows 8 apps according to Dell's website, if you guys give a shit. The Xbox One website listing the description on Dell.com has a part that mentions Windows 8. The decipher reads, quote, consider the game officially changed. With all your favorite Windows 8 apps, do you have them? Able to be run on and synced with your Xbox One. And now your phone, desktop, tablet, and TV can all give you a unified web and entertainment experience. The initial rumor was started way back in the day in April, before the console's reveal. It suggested that the Xbox One's operating system will share some of the similarities, which we knew, with Windows 8, and would allow you to use your Windows 8 apps on it. Microsoft did confirm that the console will be running multiple OSs at the same time. And if you remember E3, they talked about that, how you're fast switching between OSs essentially when you're in game and all around the system, which is really cool. One of which will obviously be the Windows 8, though the firm mentioned nothing about Windows 8 apps specifically at the time. So do you really think this is a game? I don't know. Is this a game changer at all that Windows 8 apps are? First of all, do you have any Windows 8 apps yourself?
No, I haven't even gone to Windows 8.
Me neither.
Tiff on her laptop, she's running, now Windows 8.1. Some of the kids, my kids have Windows 8 laptops, but it's not something that would be a game changer out of the gate, but it's a nice thing to know. Like, if you really could take, because the Windows 8 apps are, Grant, we have a podcast app on there. So these things can be anything from teeny little things to full-blown legitimate application. So if you can take that and use it on your console, like, why would you complain about that? It's not a selling point, but it's a nice feature, right?
Yeah, I would agree that it's nothing to like. You can't be mad about a feature set. I've said this before, and people get mad about like, why are they adding this into? No, I mean that's not a reason to be angry. I would agree, but you know, is it a game? We're using the word game changer here, right? So like, I don't know if that's
we're not using the game changer.
Well,
That's actually from the
Dell
VG7 article.
I mean, by we, I mean these people, right? I mean, it's like. Yeah. I don't know that it's a game changer. Maybe the thing is, you never know. It's all about the app, right? If there's some really kick-ass app that people, for whatever reason, that have a high love for and they want to be a part of it, they want to bring it over. Yes, I can see that happening. In fact, it'd be great. I wish that would happen. But the fact of the matter is, I just built a PC like a week ago for my brother, and it came with Windows 8, and I said, no, give me the Windows 7. Let's go back to where it's good. So I just don't know if the attachment rate for that is any better either.
Well, see, as time passes here too, there's going to be more and more legitimate programs that are released as an app version. So right now, if you get Microsoft Office, you're still getting you run them in the desktop part of Windows 8, not as tiles and apps.
Right, all that crap.
But all these things eventually, from what Microsoft's saying, they're going to come out with these app versions of them. So if that's the case, well, now you want to quickly check something, and Xbox open. Excel spreadsheet, this, and you just check quick on the screen, back to game, boom, done. And you're like, yeah, boss, that's right. Yeah, I'm working hard. Yep. And then you just play your game at the same time. I don't know. It seems to me it's a good free feature if it ends up being a feature. You can't blame them for it. If part of the underlying OS is Windows 8 or Windows 8 based, you might as well take advantage of it. Fuck it.
No, I totally agree.
You can't shit on these guys for it.
No, and it all comes to who attaches to this, like you said. And Deep's talking about it in chat too. That I think, and this is pretty accurate. I think people are starting to catch on that Windows 8.1 did a really good job at really fixing what was wrong with 8 that made people so like bleh. And Surface is doing a good job. Well, I guess if you look at the numbers, it's not. But people have said the new Surface Pro and what they're doing with that tablet, they're really trying to close that gap on Apple. If they can get their shit together and they get this stuff to stick, then I think it is a great idea. It's a great idea. It's just, will we have the apps and will people actually attach themselves to these units, tablets especially, because I think you need the tablet to really drive app sales. Desktop apps, I don't think people give a shit. Like, Chrome's got it now in browser. I have some of the apps really just for Twitter and other things, but it's just as easy to go to twitter.com. It's just as easy. So, apps in desktop for me have always been a strange thing. Like, I don't know that I need them. But on tablet, I think they're great. On phones, I think they're great. So we just need that sort of bridge to bring that stuff all together, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. God, I feel like I just realized this. I think we're shitting all over Nintendo.
Oh, how can you not, though, right?
Yeah.
It's status quo.
This is terrible. This week's WTF, let's call it that, story. Nintendo halts production on the Wii. So Nintendo of Japan has confirmed on its official website, believe it or not, which has been translated by Kotaku, that it has halted production of its last generation Wii console for Japan. The company said earlier in the month that it would halt production of the console for the region soon, and the latest update to the site confirms that this is now. Nintendo has been a bit vague about production for regions like Europe and North America, though the company did say prior to today's announcement that it would likely continue to produce the Wii for regions like Latin America, where they continue to have actually robust demand, apparently. The Wii, of course, was released in 2006 and has sold over 1 million units worldwide, which is huge, by the way. Millions more than its competition, the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, of course. The Wii is credited for introducing motion control to gaming, which, believe it or not, did lead to things like Kinect and the other things as well for Sony. So they did play a role there. This technology was embraced by gamers initially, who purchased 872 million copies of games for the Wii. Nintendo stopped making games for the console last year to focus on its 3DS and, of course, the Wii U, which launched last year. So far, the Wii U has sold 3.61 million units, just a little bit shy of the 100 million of its predecessor. The number is expected to, I don't know if this is true, improve dramatically in the months ahead thanks to this $50 price cut of the system. So what do you think about it? I mean, I didn't know if this is really a WTF story as much as it is as sort of the death of what really got them to where they are today. It's a sign I guess. It's a sign. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, it's I don't know if this story has me saying what the fuck, but it's more of like, why the fuck did it take so long?
Yeah,
it's the granted out of the gate. There was a lot of word of mouth. You could turn on television and your non-gamer, the person that watches Ellen or those daytime talking heads, like all those guys had a Wii on there and everybody could play it. You didn't need any skill. You could just be like, oh yeah, look, I'm playing tennis with you. I'm playing tennis. And it was really, the barrier to entry was so low that everybody felt like they could do it. It showed up in nursing homes. It was bought by the dozens by nursing homes. It was bought into schools. There was this built-in, like, it was like they had their own inside sales department that was selling into all these side industries that helped their sales numbers. But at some point, people were like, hey, wait a second. This control is pretty innovative, but it's not really accurate. And the games look like shit. And then Nintendo answered that with, oh, no, we have the Wii Motion Plus. This is what we meant to do the first time, but we just couldn't get it out that way. And then at that point, you're trying to explain to people that don't even understand video games. They don't even understand how the thing that they're holding in their hand even controls the thing on the screen. You're going to tell them they need to buy something for $20 to make it more accurate. They don't understand that. So that's really when they had that disparity, and they just kept trying to sell these things. And eventually they were not the number one selling console month after month. And then they became the joke of a console, selling, Vita numbers, and it's just gone downhill from there. But
yeah, I think that's why it was more what the fuck for me. Is not. I mean, I know this is a very, and I apologize for a shitty what the fuck this week. There really wasn't that much, but for me, it was more like they were still making that thing. I think that's like, when they're dying so vastly on their new product and stuff like that. I think focusing on their new product is probably a better idea months and months ago. But yeah, it's not necessarily bad news or good news. It's just one of those things where, I don't know, Nintendo's just been in the news lately, and I feel bad. Like, it's funny, if anyone's watching the show, like, in chat, every time we bring up Nintendo, there two things happen. First of all, everyone's like, good, which is like, I don't know why they hate Nintendo. But then they also say, what we already said once tonight, why don't they just license their shit? And it just feels like that's the momentum of users. Like, everyone's just like, dude, we just want Zelda on the Xbox. Like, dude, we just want to see Mario somewhere else other than a Nintendo. We don't want to buy the Nintendo. Use the Frostbite engine for Zelda. It'd be fucking ridiculous, right? Like,
plus it's gonna help your numbers. Like,
yeah,
how did, like, think about Sega, and the Dreamcast was an in between generations console, and whatever titles were out for the Dreamcast. Did they really sell that many first-party Sega games there? Or do they sell more now that they're selling them on the 360, the PS3, the Wii, the Wii U, the DS, the 3DS, the PS Vita? Like, they have to be selling more games this way. They're not putting all that capital investment in console development and creation. It has to be better for Sega at this point. Like, I know that Sega hasn't had any breakthrough game, like any major breakthrough games besides their franchise titles, but they tried. They had Aliens, Colonial Marines that shat itself, but at least with their go-to games, the franchises people love, they have to be selling more of these games and doing better than they were when they were pissing money away making consoles.
I mean, obviously, there's the sad part of making huge cuts, right? I mean, if you do this transition and you pare down your company, you're gonna have to fire a shitload of people. That's and generally speaking, stockholders don't like it when you fire a shitload of people.
Stockholders sometimes do like that.
Sometimes they do, yeah. Sometimes if they think they're going to eventually make profits are going to go up, then they really don't care about the people. But what I'm using it more as the metaphor of it looks like the company's doing poorly. But I don't think that would be the case for Nintendo. I think if you have an instant install base of millions of people with the Xbox and Sony, then and your franchises sell themselves. Like, let's face it, you put Zelda on Xbox, I'm fucking buying it. I don't care what it is. It can be a total piece of shit. I'm gonna buy it. I think what keeps them from that, obviously, is when you look at the numbers. Again, they sold 100 million consoles last. They must feel like they can do it again. They did it before. They were the leading console of last generation. People, for whatever reason, forget that they were.
Oh, and the other part of the problem is they're handhelds. They have the most successful handheld consoles in the world, and they just keep pumping these things out. People keep buying DSs like they're going out of style. But so be a portable console, be a handheld console company. and put all those same titles out on everybody else's platforms.
Agreed.
Yeah. Simple.
Simple.
All right. Won that. Why don't we slam into the mailbag and voicemails? All right. I need a drink before this one. This one's a little long.
That is I'm looking at this. This is quite a.
This is gonna be tough.
It's a
tough on the vocal
festival
cords.
of words, if you will.
All right. Shadow asks, this generation, I've fallen into the trap of buying way too many games and feeling like I'm not getting my money out of them since I play them for a bit and move on to something else. Sometimes I don't ever come back, or when I do, it's like a chore. This past year, I've tried to buy very minimal games, such as BioShock Infinite, and instead go back and clean up the achievements and trophies on all the games I bought over the years. Somehow, I got a much larger feeling of satisfaction from this than I normally have when I game, because I felt like I was finishing what I started and not wasting money. My question is, do you feel the same, that you bought way too many games this gen that you never played? This includes Steam sales, though to a lesser extent because they're so cheap. In the next gen, do you plan on being more picky and buying games that you know you really want and attempt to finish? Let me know your thoughts, and thanks.
This is an absolutely fantastic question. It's long.
It is.
But it's
long.
It's a fantastic question. And the reason it's so fantastic is it goes back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of the show with our own community, which is that there are so many games now that it is almost impossible to even remain friends with the people that you are friends with in the gaming world, because the only time you see those friends is when you play video games. And this generation, without question, was a clusterfuck of great games. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It's great to have great games, right? But it also means you're being pulled in so many different directions, especially during big launch cycles where you see, like, of course, November, December, and all that stuff, where you really just don't know what you're playing. And then the other problem that occurs is you only have maybe 3 months to play that game at max, or else the next game's going to come out and try to, grab your attention. Now, this cycle is the first cycle where I literally just said, fuck it. And I didn't buy anything. I did not buy the latest Call of Duty. And I probably will never buy Call of Duty again. But it was really hard for me because everyone was playing all these other games. And I knew that if I bought it, I would sit on a dresser or whatever, and it would never be. There are games that I have purchased that were still in wrappers that I never opened, and that is fucking insane. Now, Steam,
my Black Ops 2 is still upstairs.
Is your Black Ops 2? Yeah. Steam is a different subject, right? When Steam sale hit, I bought 32 games. I have played 3 of those games out of like 32.
I have shitloads of Steam.
Yeah, I mean, Steam is, but that is why I love what Steam does. Then I don't feel like a shit, right? I probably spent 60 to 70, maybe $100 on Steam sales, but I feel okay about it because I have many games to show for it.
Not only that, but you probably have, what I have is a whole bunch of, what are they? In Steam, you get a game in the Steam sale and they give you like another one you can gift someone else.
Right.
Like I probably have 20 gifts I can give people of all these
it's great
weird
for doing the
random
show
games.
and someone wins it. Yeah, fair. I'll gift this to you. Yeah. I mean, that's a good model because you don't feel that I just spent, $70. I don't care, rich or poor. $70 to just light on fire, to put on a mantle somewhere and never open is just shitty. It's just bad.
No,
right?
a big bag of Coke. Well, small bag of Coke.
Coca-Cola Classic.
That's a much
Sponsor.
better use of that $70.
See this pour? That's Coca-Cola.
That's what we were talking about. Obviously.
Coca-Cola. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's a fantastic question. When you get to the heart of it, I mean, we could probably have a whole discussion on this, is what does it do to gaming communities? That, I think, is an even deeper question. It's certainly hurt us tremendously, but it's one of those things where I don't know, is it bad to have a bunch of fucking great games? I mean, so what are your thoughts on it, just like at that core?
Well, you're right. It does splinter your crowd. Like when you have a site that's formed from a bunch of first-person shooter guys that love Halo, and then all of a sudden some guys are like, hey, you know what? These next-gen racing games are cool. Or, hey, you know what? I like third-person hiders. Or, I'm into action role-playing games on the console or whatever. And it does segregate your audience, but I'm not one to talk. I played through. I loved Assassin's Creed 3, whichever the last Assassin's Creed game I picked up. And I played through. I got to a point of it, probably 20% in the game, and I got stuck at something for a week. And I was like, "Fuck that! I got so many other games here." And it's in my stack of like behind me here. Like Tiff and I have like a shitload of games that we never fucking go through and play, and stuff falls by the wayside. It's just the nature of the business. It's the cost of doing business, and you know that as soon as your next big game comes out, no matter how good a game is, like I remember getting Monday Night Combat on the 360 downloadable game. Super awesome game, so fun, great game. But it came out a month before Halo 3, or was it Halo Reach? Or it came out before one of the Halos, and I knew it was going to have a short lifespan. I played the fuck out of it for a month, and then Halo came, and sorry, Halo's my thing. So it's always been the way this is. It's always going to be the way it is, and at some point you just have to stop worrying about, did I really get my money's worth out of this game? Because you know what? You're never going to get your money's worth out of it unless it's a game like Halo, like Borderlands, where they're pumping DLC at you inexpensively and often and keeping the multiplayer component updated to a point where you feel like you want to go back and play it. Because there's games that you just don't, and you never will go back. There very few single player games are the ones that are guys like, hey, you know what, I think I'll go back and play that single player game. No, I'm going to play these fucking multiplayer games with new maps and all my friends are playing. And it's...
Well, that never needed to be a thing. I mean, that's it. Like DLC inherently came out of this world of like, if we don't have DLC, our attachment rate for this game is going to go way, way down. We want to keep you in that IP so that when the next game does come out, it's still fresh in your mind that, oh, that's a kick-ass game. You didn't need crazy DLC back in the day because you only played, there was 4 games. You played 4 games all year, and you didn't have any reason to leave because there was nothing else to play. The only downside I see to this question, again, it's a great question, is just that is the friendship component. Like, I don't play video games with you like we used to. It just, that's the way it's gone because we play different video games now.
Yeah, and we make the, like, that's the thing. It's like it's like a sine wave. Occasionally we come together, like we've been apart. We played fucking shitloads, years of World of Warcraft, and we came apart. And then we came back together. We played Borderlands 2 together. We played through the whole campaign. You and I and Tiff and Mr. GBMS played through that campaign like nobody's business. So it's just when you cross planes with your friends, and you just need to cross planes with them enough. Fortunately, you and I have all these other times a year where we do a show every week.
Yeah,
I see you a bunch of times a year. You came to my wedding. We go to all these events together. So you and I have a different thing where you get to foster that. But yeah, I'm sure there are people that don't get to see their friends that, maybe they only hit these games once a year, and I guess that does suck for people.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good question, and I don't know the answer. I think at the end of the day, more good games is probably better than only 1 or 2. So
yeah,
take that
more
as
is more is more gooder.
More is more gooder.
All right, and Altius asks, I know you two have said that you think that both next gen consoles will sell out and be sold out for quite some time. That said, who do you think, Microsoft or Sony, will declare themselves some sort of winner first?
Sony. Why are we even saying
Sony
this?
always
Sony is going to win. Sony's going to win, fact. Let me say this right now, fact. I mean, I love Xbox. I'm buying an Xbox. Most of my gaming will happen on an Xbox. But I will say this now, Sony is going to win this. There is not even a question in my mind they're going to win.
All right, wait, are you saying they're going to be the legitimate winner? Or
Legitimate winner.
To declare themselves
Sony will legitimately win for at least the first 4 months.
Oh, see, I don't think so.
Man.
I think the first 4 months they're going to be tied. No matter how many
tied,
they're all going to sell as many
units. What bubble are
you
living in? Well, this is true.
Everybody is going to sell.
They're going to be limited by the hardware. Correct.
Nobody is going to have any more units available than they make. So everybody's on an even pace. It's just, it goes to your manufacturing. I think that Sony, during that first week when they're the only console out, they're going to put out a press release saying that they sold more consoles than Microsoft.
Well,
no, but that's what Sony's move is. They're
more than 0?
We are the #1 next-gen console seller this week. We sold X number. And that's what they do, because that's what Sony does. They do just point of fact things, and they make it seem like it's big news. I really don't think, and we talked about this on the show
months ago.
Last month or the month before. Yeah. I don't think that we can really start talking about who's doing better until the very first time that both consoles they start to stock on store shelves. I think that is our day 0.
But what do you think about this news? And then again, this is, I don't know how factual this really is, but if you go to like your local or EB Games or any of that shit, just ask what's selling more. My brother, he gave me a call, I think last week. He's talking about, what should I buy? I just tell him what to buy and then he buys it. So he gave it a look-see, and what the scary news is not that they're selling more Sony PS4s. That's not the scary news. The scary news is that when he asked how many do you have of the Xbox? He said, oh, well, it's sold out. We're going to get like 6 or 7. It was more than when he said, how about Sony PS4? And they said, oh, there's no limit. Like, they don't have Sony's still sending them more consoles. They're saying 20 to 50 plus per store. Now, does that just mean that they're going to win on the manufacturing end? Because if they do, if they are able to stock more come day one, they will win. Just on the fact that you can't get an Xbone.
See, I think it's the exact opposite. I think that Sony has not been in this position. When the PS3 finally came out, now granted, it was the very first week it was hard to get, but it didn't have that same problem the Xbox had. And there were people like me. Now, granted, launch day, I ended up with 2 or 3 360s because I was creative in my camping and moving and everything else. But the one that I pre-ordered very first was at a GameStop that I was guaranteed mine on launch day. Right. And guess what? That one came in a month after launch. So that kind of bad feedback went back to Microsoft. So they even said they were making sure that they were undercutting their numbers at the GameStop stores so that they did not run into this again, because it's granted, no matter how mad somebody is at GameStop, they're really mad at Microsoft. That's who gets the blame for these console shortages. So if GameStop says, we did all our pre-orders, then nobody's in the wrong. Now, if Sony doesn't give a sort of limit to GameStop, and they're like, hey, take however many pre-orders you want, we'll get them to you. But really, is Sony really going to get them to you? Because I don't think they can.
That's what I want to know.
Think they can do it.
Why are they giving these guys these non-limits? I mean, to me, it's just insane. Are they just doing it to bump up pre-order numbers?
Microsoft did the first time. They gave limits, but they were insanely high, which may be the same limits that Sony gave, where they really think that they can produce these things to that extent. And I just don't think they can. I think that this year's sob stories of people that pre-ordered GameStop, even if you go in the forums and look, our forums or other sites' forums, there's people that now have pre-ordered at 2 and 3 places because just in case. Because people have been burned by this before. You should never have to, like when someone says guaranteed launch day, you shouldn't have to pre-order at 3 guaranteed launch day places. That should be just guaranteed means guaranteed. But it doesn't when it comes to games.
When it comes to games or consoles in general, it doesn't mean shit. Like, it just really doesn't. And because they can easily point to manufacturer error. That's the thing, is like all these retailers have realized, like, well, we'll just say it's guaranteed, and if we'll just say, well, we didn't get, they said we were going to get 20, we only got 4. Sorry.
Yeah.
We
that's what they say. That's exactly what GameStop said.
They fucked up. Sorry, guys. Would you like a Sony? That's the other thing. Like, would you like whatever is in stock? Get that to you right now. I don't know. I still say, I know we've been talking about this, so this will be really interesting to see what happens, but I think Sony's going to win. But the word win, the problem is the word win is extremely vague in and of itself. Win what? They will possibly do well for the first 4 months. No matter what, they have more pre-orders, right? It's not a question of whether they will or will not. If you look at the numbers, they're winning right now, but how that will play out after holiday, who the fuck knows? How will it play out when store shelves are stocked? Who knows? When Titanfall comes out, who fucking knows, right? It doesn't mean dick at all until, I don't know, 7 years in. Is that when we declare a winner?
When we start making the judgment, because look how long it took for us to say that, you know what, we may have sold more units, but they're not the winner of this generation.
Right. It's weird. Like, it doesn't. Yeah. We is by the way. Yeah. We is winning. Right. So if we is winning, what the fuck? Like, do you care?
Can you really say that we is winning? No.
Right.
But technically, like that's the thing, is there's so many more things that come into play than that, because you know what, maybe there's the most Wii's out there, but you know what, the attach rate for the Wii, despite what that story says where it makes it seem like it's an 8-to-1 attach rate, we know from factual information from NPD, the attach rate from Wii is 1.5 to 2, which means
it comes with a
people
game.
in Japan buy like 20 games for their Wii. Now, I was one of those guys that had 20 something games for my Wii, and I fucked up the attach rate average too, but for the most part, the Wii did not have that attach rate. Xbox and PlayStation do not have that problem. Like I said before, like for those of you watching the video, look behind me. This is just like what's down here in the basement, things we don't play. Like upstairs, there's shitloads of games in every room. There's fucking 5 Xboxes in this house. Like there's games everywhere. There's PlayStation upstairs with all its games up there. It's you can't. The attach rate here is insane. Like, just look at that. That's like, this is just my house. And I know, Jay, I look under your TV and you
there's shit
them
there
side by side. You have vertical stacks left to right. And, You've got like 8 or 10 stacks of games.
And they're all in wrappers too. It's insane. Just a bunch of wrapped games. That's all it is. But I mean, I agree. I bought the Wii. I had the game it came with. I bought maybe one other game, and that was it. It's really hard to point a finger and say who won. And certainly we'll see new things when it comes to, obviously the holiday season and all that. But even then, you can't. There is just no victor, really. You'll know the victor when the other guy throws in the towel. That's when you know something's gone drastically wrong. That's a winner. You win when the other guy has been defeated, but that's not going to happen with either of these companies. Just go with whatever fucking system your friends are at and play with them and shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Done.
All right. Well, if you want to give us a shout, 773-527-2961, podcast at tooltoplay.com. You can also comment in this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors, I have some things in the works, but we are still looking for sponsors. So if you'd like to sponsor the show, you want to pay us to sell something, we'll sell it for you. You'll just pay us. We'll tell people it's awesome. And that's all it takes, because people believe what we say. Like, if we tell them your shit's the best, it's the best. Like, Joe Blow brand of Coke is the best. And people are like, oh, I got to buy Joe Blow brand Coke, right? It just doesn't matter. And if you're in a state where that's legal or weed's legal, we'll advertise your weed. We have an international audience. We don't care. We don't care the product. We'll sell that kind of Coke. Joel Dude I Rock Albert is showing off the traditional Coca-Cola brand Coke, no longer containing cocaine since the 1920s, but it's still a product. But we'll take advertisers from anywhere. You'll pay us. We'll sell your shit. Boom, done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/Tool to Play. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the internet, god of everything that's holy, at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
You can find me over at twitter.com/dude to the I to the rock.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Trademark. Facebook.com/Tool to Play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/dude to the I to the rock.
We also have a YouTube channel that's immensely popular and gaining popularity day by day. That is youtube.com/Tool to Play. You can find this show there and all of Tool to Play's other fine programs, depending on how often they produce their content.
That's actually true, yeah.
Yes. But this show, definitely the most content.
Yes.
Also, please rate and review the podcast on iTunes. I go over this every week. I know for some of you've been with us for 7 years, but this is technically a new show as far as iTunes is concerned. We need your ratings. We need your reviews. We need you to get out there. We need to give us 5 stars. We need you to write something positive about us, please. And like I said, I will pick some random reviewers. I've already sent off a code for Torchlight 2 to one of our reviewers whose name I was able to correlate with their Tool to Play username. Random selection. Boom. That person got a copy of Torchlight. So, you know what? Enter a review. You never know if you'll win something.
Agreed.
All right. And don't forget, last but not least, join us each and every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv Tool to Play. We are live. We fucking pump out this content. We have a chat room here that's fucking on fire. That's why if
tonight they've been chatting,
and I'm like looking down like this. It's not because I don't like you. It's not because I'm shy. Because I'm not fucking shy. But I'm fucking in your face. But I'm looking down so I can communicate with our audience here. Like Joel Dude I Rock Albert has covered half of my face with the fucking shit up there. But
here, let me give you a little more room.
Looks like.
Boom.
See?
Get over there.
That's our chat.
That's chat.
Like, tons of chat. Tons of chat during this show.
You could say things like "you suck." Look at that. It's great.
Yep.
That's
people
what you
talking
want.
about the Intellivision. Like, you just don't even know what you get. We kind of pick and choose what we take from the chat room. Some of it's insane.
Sometimes you got to
to
kind of take it back a notch and say what the fuck and just move on. But yeah,
you can't just let the asylum open into the show.
No, that's insane.
You know what? We pick and choose people. We take Jack Nicholson out, and he's like, "That's right," and we put him back in the asylum. And then the beginning, go, and he smashes shit. See, I went classic there. That's right.
Classic. Good job.
Whew. Wow, that was fucked up.
All right, enough of that shit.
All right. On that, Jay, why don't we wrap this episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
Let's rock it, bros. I had to go with Rocket Bros again.
Dude, Rocket Bros twice? This guy is famous now. We got to get him on the show.
We didn't technically end with Rocket Bros last time.
That's true.
Yes.
Now, yeah.
It's now become the true nomenclature of the show. When people think of Still Got Game, they're like, "Oh, Still Got Game, Rocket Bros."
Oh, is that Rocket Bros show? Yeah, that's that Rocket Bros show. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know it by the name, but I know Rocket Bros. Yeah, I know.
What we need to do is we need to pun this. Like, we need Hitman now to take his opening intro of the show and ditch the fractals and take a picture of a rocket, like with
us two bros riding it.
Woo,
we're riding
Rocket Bros. See, like it's a play on words. Rocket Bros. Rocket Bros.
Well, I initially thought of it as Rocket Bros. Believe it or not, not Rocket Bros, but just a rocket with some bros.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that.
This is what we need. I know we know you love fractals, and your fractals are pretty cool. But
Rocket
might
Bros
make more
is
sense
way
is if we were in a rocket with like some sort of video game shit like that.
Wait, are you saying video game related? Whoa,
Yeah,
calm the fuck down, bro.
Someone could probably tie like a dotted line between a couple points to get from fractals to video games, but a rocket with bros
With some
in it,
bros on it,
and then like fucking on the side of the rocket some console pictures. Boom. That seems like a no-brainer to me.
What? Wait, is Sarcasmo, are you saying that it's a bad idea? You know you want to see some Rocket Bros. Don't even start with me. Everyone wants to see that. That's not, no.
Rocket Bros equals Rocket Bros. Boom. Woo.
I'm totally getting a Rocket Bro tattoo. I can't wait.
I'm going to get a Rocket Bro tattoo on my cock.
I was just thinking that. Is that weird?
No, it's
not
totally
gay,
that's
right?
where it belongs. It's like, holy shit, Rocket Bros.
You want your Rocket Bro on your cocket, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's where you put some fucking rhymes. That's where you put it. You're rocking on your cocket.
You're like, so you're taking a piss, fucking in a shower somewhere. Some guy's like, dude, what do you have some fucking shit on your cock? You're like, Rocket Bros.
Oh, you mean my cocket, bro? Yeah, that's a rocket on there.
Yeah, I rocket on my cocket. Bros.
Oh, what a terrible show.
Yes. I can't believe we got back to Rocket Bros to this level, to the point where I'm laughing and can't even control my speech patterns.
Paulie D should be extremely proud of himself. He's really...
This guy's the best. We
Yeah.
should have him on the show.
That's what I said. He's like our branding liaison.
We got to put
Call him
him up with Hitman. You guys could be a creative team.
You need to be a team,
Because
right?
Hitman, you had the sound, you had the fractals are cool. We like the fractals. Don't get us wrong, but Rocket Bros.
Did you see Sarcasmo's thought? I actually like this. It's just two bros riding a basset hound, but that basset hound's name is Rocket. That's the name of the dog.
That's
fucked up, dude.
That's fucked up.
Oh, it's quality.
Wow. Yeah, this show really went downhill in like the last 25 seconds. Like usually it goes downhill when I have 2 drinks, but only 1 here. So we didn't really go downhill until the show was over.
I think it's because I'm on my 3rd.
Oh, nice. See, we
killing it.
Saying the role of Derek T. Smooth Nolan will be Joel Dudai Rock
switch
Albert.
it up.
And saying the role of Joel Dudai Rock Albert will be Derek Nolan.
We're switching it.
I don't know. I want to play World of Warcraft. I love that game.
Here we go. Let me just make this. There we go. There we
Is
go.
that all it takes?
That's all it takes.
Now we switch roles.
As we switch roles. The drunk one's on the right now.
See, now I can point to you over here. See, boom.
Oh yeah,
There's Derek T. Smooth Nolan right there. No, you gotta go the other way. It's opposite now. There
that
you
sucks.
go.
I gotta do this when I want to do this.
Yeah,
that's fine though.
See? Boom. Woo. Wow. All right. Wow. Well, I want to thank everybody in chat for joining us. You guys are awesome. And Rocket Bros, nice.
That was an accident.
Whoa, that's pretty cool. I like this. We should do every show this way because then I can punch you just like that because you're closer this way. Ha! I got you. Wow. Boom. Or we can high five and like.
Oh, this
good
is
spots.
weird.
Like,
I didn't even know about this little move.
Whoa, hey, this is so intimate.
Now we're really close.
Oh, that's gay.
This just got super weird. Now you're just really. Now there's just an abyss below us.
Oh,
what is
just
what is down there?
Going down there?
It's going down there.
Something's down there.
Wow.
Wonder if it happens. I drop my drink down there.
Don't do it.
Where'd it go?
What the fuck? Oh my
down
God.
there.
You have my head. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Oh, yeah, I gotta come down a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
There we go.
Oh, let me get. Wait, stand there. Stand there. Wait,
Okay, people don't even know what's going on.
Oh, wow. That got weird real fast.
Okay, I'm fucking losing it now.
The after show is just where the quality happens. That's what.
Between these insanely hot lights and that fucked up shit, this is making me sweat. Whew. All right. Now I'm on both sides. Now I'm on one side.
Now you're good. I got you.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, next week. Bye, chat.
Peace.
You guys were amazing tonight. You should be really proud.
Totes.
Totes my goats. All right.